Sometimes when you're researching a story, you stumble onto something that just stops you in your tracks. For me, it was uncovering a partnership that could literally change how we see inside the human body. We're talking about two absolute giants, NVIDIA and GE HealthCare. And what they're building is, well, it's nothing short of revolutionary. So let's dive in.
And really, this whole story, everything we're about to cover, it all boils down to one simple but profound question. Can artificial intelligence see something that even a highly trained doctor's eye might miss?
Well, if you ask the two giants who are architecting this entire shift, the answer they're giving is a big, resounding yes.
Okay, so let's break down this power couple. On one side, you've got NVIDIA. And yeah, you probably know them for the graphics cards in your gaming PC, right? But believe me, they are the absolute engine behind so much of the modern AI world. Their computing power is just off the charts. Then you have GE HealthCare. These are the folks who've been building the actual medical imaging machines, the MRIs, the CT scanners, for decades. They're the established experts. So you see what's happening? You've got NVIDIA's incredible AI brain pairing up with GE HealthCare's expert medical eyes. It's kind of the perfect partnership.
But this whole collaboration, it didn't just happen because it was a cool tech idea. Nope. It was born from necessity. It's a direct response to a very real and often hidden crisis that's brewing in our hospitals.
I mean, just try to put yourself in a radiologist's shoes for a moment. Every single day, they are just swamped with a mountain of incredibly detailed images. It's an insane amount of data, and frankly, it's leading to massive burnout. On top of that, one expert might see something a little differently than another. And to make matters worse, there just aren't enough of these trained specialists to go around in the first place. It really is a perfect storm.
So what does all that mean for you and me as patients? Well, it can mean you're waiting longer for your results, it can mean diagnoses aren't always consistent, and it creates this huge gap in care. If you don't happen to live near a major medical center, getting access to a top expert can be nearly impossible.
So you've got this massive problem. What's the solution? This is where it gets really, really interesting. The answer they've come up with is a concept called physical AI.
Okay, let's unpack that term because it's super important. Physical AI is not just some fancy software running on a server in the basement. Not at all. We're talking about embedding the artificial intelligence directly into the physical machine, right inside the MRI or CT scanner. This means the machine isn't just taking a picture anymore, it's actually starting to understand what it's looking at in real time.
So what does this look like in practice? Okay, step one is what you'd expect. The machine takes the scan. But then step two, this is the game changer. The AI starts analyzing that image instantly on the spot. And that leads to step three, insights delivered in real time to the medical team, sometimes while the patient is still in the room. The key here, and it's a big one, is speed. Think about it. Because the analysis is happening right there on the device, the system can flag something suspicious immediately. It could even tell the machine, hey, let's get a closer look at that spot and adjust the scan on the fly. This is a universe away from the old method of sending huge files off somewhere and just waiting for a report.
All right, so we've got the problem and we've got this incredible new technology. But what's the bottom line? What does this revolution actually mean for doctors? And more importantly, for all of us as patients?
Well, the expected outcomes are huge. We're looking at much greater accuracy in finding diseases, getting those diagnoses way faster, making clinics run more efficiently, opening up better access to care for everyone, and yep, even saving significant money across the whole healthcare system.
Let's dig into that a little more. First, it could seriously cut down on human error by catching those subtle patterns we talked about. It can also automate all of the tedious, routine parts of the job, which frees up radiologists to focus their brain power on the most complex cases. And, this is a big one, it makes high-quality remote diagnosis a real possibility. Oh, and it can even personalize a scan to use the absolute minimum amount of radiation necessary. That is a huge win for patient safety.
In all the research I did, one statement really stood out. It perfectly captured the vision here. The goal isn't just to build a slightly better scanner. The real goal is to usher in a whole new era of medical imaging, with the focus squarely on improving diagnoses and, most importantly, improving patient outcomes. That's what this is all about.
Okay, but let's be real for a second. With any technology this revolutionary, the road ahead is not going to be easy. It's so important that we look at this with a balanced, realistic perspective. As I see it, there are three major hurdles they have to clear. First, and this is a biggie, data privacy. You're dealing with the most sensitive information a person has, so compliance with regulations like HIPAA is absolutely non-negotiable. Second, you have to worry about algorithm bias.
If the AI only learns from one demographic, it might not be accurate for others, so the training data has to be diverse. And third, you need regulatory approval from bodies like the FDA, who have to rigorously test these things to make sure they're safe and effective.
And this might be the most important point of all. Human oversight remains absolutely critical. This is not about replacing doctors. Let me say that again. This is not about replacing doctors. It's about giving them an incredibly powerful new tool. But that also means we're going to need new training so that healthcare professionals can learn to work with and interpret these new AI-generated insights effectively.
But when you zoom out and look at the big picture, the long-term vision here is truly aspirational. The ultimate hope is to democratize healthcare, to break down those geographical barriers, and make this level of advanced diagnostic care accessible to everyone, everywhere. So the key takeaway is this. The collaboration between NVIDIA and GE Healthcare isn't just an upgrade, it's a transformative leap towards a future where our healthcare becomes more accurate, way more efficient, and far more personal.
And that leaves us with one final thought-provoking question to consider. As this technology becomes more and more common, and AI is sitting there as your doctor's most trusted partner, how much will you trust it?